Hey there LT gamers, welcome back to the channel, your ultimate destination for all things gaming. My name is Tom and I'm thrilled to be back with you all after a little bit of travelling. Massive shout out to Luke, my brother, for carrying the channel while I was gone. He really made some stellar videos. But fear not, I've returned and I bring with me a treasure trove of forgotten gaming gems from the golden era of the 90s. That's right LT gamers, we're going to jump into a journey to unearth the top 12 forgotten gaming gems of the 90s. I've done this video a while back and I thought it'd be great to revisit it, as I'm always one for nostalgia, and this is a great first video for me to make getting back. So these are games, in my opinion, that shaped my gaming experience in the 90s, but I also feel have slipped through the cracks of time, and they deserve to be celebrated for their innovation, creativity, and the sheer entertainment value. Now, I know we all love reminiscing about titles which are iconic, like Diablo, Sonic and the like, but let's shine a spotlight on some unsung heroes of the 90s gaming scene. Of course, this video is not just about my opinion, but I'd love to hear yours. What are your 90s gaming gems that you feel no one remembers, no one recalls? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're down there, feel free to like and subscribe for more LT gaming content. Let's jump into it, guys. LT gamers, step into the arena with HyperBlade. A futuristic, action-packed sports game that takes the excitement of modern-day sports, something akin to ice hockey, and fuses it with radical futuristic ideas to give you an adrenaline-fueled gaming experience. In HyperBlade, players choose their team. You either compete in exhibition or gauntlet play. Exhibition, the freedom to select two competing teams and the arena. Gauntlet is something akin to the league and beating all 11 opposing teams. It had great graphics, I felt, for the time, and really immersive sound design, and it gave you a really ultra realistic playing environment, mostly because of the speed and the violence that you felt when playing this one. It was a fierce competition, and I have to say, I remember it being pretty gory for the time. But this was a time when we knew more about computers than our parents, and so no one knew how to turn off the blood in this game. HyperBlade was a truly unique gaming experience for me, and something I had forgotten about again before starting research back into this list. And I just remember Luke and I sinking many hours into this one. You blend futuristic sports with high-octane action, and whether you're a fan of sports or action games, HyperBlade is going to give you something to have fun with here. I believe it's abandonware now, so you can pick it up and try it for free, but I think this is the sort of game that would really benefit from a remake, and given the landscape of today's gaming, for example, Rocket League comes to mind, high-octane fast action, HyperBlade would just fit right in there. So if any devs are out there listening, maybe consider a remake or be inspired by this game, and you'll have a huge audience for it. Check it out, guys, and yeah. Enjoy the violence on this one. Next up, LT gamers, we have Zed by the Bitmap Brothers, a game I had even forgotten about before I started researching and making this list. It's a fast-paced real-time strategy game that's wild and addictive. Takes you on a thrilling journey across 20 levels and 5 planets, all while battling enemy soldiers and avoiding the wrath of Commander Zod. The game received a lot of positive reviews upon release, but it was very much seen as inferior to games such as Command & Conquer. However, it was fast, it was furious, it had all about reaction times and rule strategy rather than resource management. So it was brilliant in that sense, and it had a lot of humour and charm packed in. Luke and I would actually sneak into the local PC store, where for some reason this game was always on their machines there, and we would play it there. Get an hour or so before we got kicked out, playing some fast and furious action, and then that was kind of our experience with this game. So we would often play it on weekends in short bursts, and that is kind of how I remember this. An adrenaline-fueled strategy game with a healthy dose of humour. I believe you can pick it up on a lot of platforms, and there is even an open source project that is available for this one now. Next on our journey through the forgotten gems of the 90s is another real-time strategy game that deserves a little more recognition, KKnD, or known as Crush, Kill, Destroy. This game may not be as widely known as some of the others, such as Age of Empires, but it's definitely worth your attention. Upon its release, KKnD received very positive reviews, and for good reason in my opinion. It was praised for its varied strategy, frenetic action and gorgeous visuals. And it was also known for having quite a good AI, making it a standout in the genre when AI was notoriously weak at this point. It also had a lot of humour in it and a superb single player experience, and the game's units were lauded as some of the best in the genre, and I found the factions very unique as well. One thing I would say is that I've seen that a few criticisms over the years, some saying it was not that great and it didn't have as big an impact as some other games, but I don't think you can really argue at how fun this game was, and I definitely think it deserves to be remembered a bit more. So this is one you can pick up on GOG as well, and I definitely encourage RTS fans to do so. Next up on our journey through Forgotten's 90s gems is one that is very personal to me, and that's because I'm a huge fan of the author Raymond E. Feist. And I'm talking about the turn-based role-playing game Betrayal at Krondor. This game received widespread acclaim upon its release for its innovation, lack of bugs, and captivating book-like atmosphere. And it was hailed as really a revolution in turn-based role-playing games, and for me it absolutely lived up to that. It was a watermark for exceptional combat mechanics, immersive storytelling, and while the graphics weren't cutting edge, it made up with very deep and engaging gameplay. So I have to say this was an extremely satisfying game to play, as it was complex with immersive environments filled with traps, riddles, quests and the like, and it really kept me going, and it really imparted the vibe that I got from the books as well. So this is absolutely one that you should revisit and give a shot. Now let's kick things off with Conqueror AD 1086. Now if you're looking for an unforgettable gaming experience, look no further than this game. It deserves a spotlight in every retro gamer's collection, in my humble opinion. First off, we have to mention the intro. It's probably one of the most epic introductions in gaming history. From the moment you start, you're transported and thrown into this world of medieval intrigue and adventure. And let me tell you LT gamers, once you dive in, you're in for a highly addictive experience. Commanding armies, engaging in hand-to-hand combat, and competing in tournament events, and also for the fair maiden's hands and favour, will keep you hooked for hours at end. However, I have to say, it's a janky game. It was buggy and janky even by 90s standards. I remember having to load this game up dozens and dozens of times after it crashed. But it is definitely a forerunner to the strategy RPGs we know and love today. There are elements which are weaker. For example, the strategic combat is nowhere near as fun as the hand-to-hand combat in castles. But there is such amount of depth and fun in this, and the voice acting and the immersion of the game is immense. Absolutely one to check out. It's on GOG and usually pretty reasonable too. Now let's journey into the world of strategic warfare with our next hidden gem from the 90s, Dune 2. This game, my friends, is a true classic that not only captured the hearts of gamers, but also influenced an entire genre. Dune 2 wasn't just any game, it was one of the most influential titles in real-time strategy history, setting the stage for future classics like Command & Conquer and Total Annihilation. Its innovative features such as fog of war, mouse-based military micromanagement, and an economic model of resource gathering and base building, these have all become hallmarks and standards of RTS games. And it really influenced the genre. For example, Chris Taylor, the creator of Total Annihilation, credits Dune 2 as a great inspiration that drove him to create his own groundbreaking RTS title. So critics and gamers alike praised Dune 2 for its innovative gameplay and immersive experience. It had outstanding sound and graphics, for the time of course, and this all contributed to its addictive gameplay, leaving Dune 2 to make an indelible mark on the gaming landscape. So whether you are a fan of strategy games or just looking for a nostalgic gaming experience, Dune 2 is really a must play. It's a piece of gaming history that continues to influence the genre to this day. Wing Commander, a true classic that soared into the hearts of gamers back in the 90s. Throwing the player into the cockpit, this was an iconic space dogfight game that set new standards for gaming in general. Set in the year 2654, Wing Commander thrust players into a gripping tale of interstellar conflict, With its graphics, audio and immersive story campaign, it's no wonder many compared it back to the epic Star Wars films franchise. Wing Commander wasn't just another space game though, it was a major step forward for this genre. Critics praised its stellar gameplay, captivating story and memorable soundtrack. It even inspired competitors like LucasArts' X-Wing. In fact, Wing Commander was so beloved by gamers it was inducted into the Hall of Fame for games that readers rated highly over time. Its impact on the gaming world is undeniable, and its legacy continues to inspire space combat games to this day. You can just look at our recent videos on space simulators and you can see the kind of blueprint from this game all over them. Luke played this one a lot more than me. I must admit it's his inclusion into the list. I was a little bit young at the time. But if you are a fan of space combat games or just looking for a thrilling classic adventure, don't miss out on Wing Commander. It is a timeless classic that still holds up after all these years. Welcome LT gamers to the bizarre and captivating world of Planescape Torment. A game that defies the traditional RPG conventions and takes players on an unforgettable journey through the planes of existence. This game was very much overshadowed, including for myself at the time, by games like the Baldur's Gate series, Diablo and the like. In Planescape Torment, story takes center stage, with combat playing a secondary role. Players step into the shoes of the Nameless One, an immortal man on a quest to reclaim his memories and uncover the mysteries of his immortality. And Planescape Torment was not a commercial success upon release. It garnered critical acclaim and kind of faded off when it came to sales, but it has since become a cult classic, and many consider it, in retrospect, to be one of the best role-playing games of 1999, if not the best. It got praise for its immersive dialogue, dark setting, and unique persona of the protagonist. Journalists and players alike have hailed it as one of the greatest games of all time, in retrospect of course, and its deep storytelling, morally ambiguous choices and thought-provoking themes leave a lasting impact on the gaming landscape, still felt today. And if you missed out on the original experience, fear not, you can pick up the enhanced edition for modern platforms, made by Beamdog, and is available, I believe, on Steam and GOG, and I would highly recommend players to jump into this one and experience the magic of this gem. Next up, LT gamers, we're delving into the intense world of tactical warfare with Close Combat, a game that revolutionized real-time strategy gaming when it hit the scene in July 1996. Close Combat did not have the smoothest journey to release. Originally it was announced as Beyond Squad Leader, when underwent significant changes in development and ultimately broke away from its publisher to emerge as the Close Combat game we know. Despite its rocky development, Close Combat was a commercial success at the time, sold over 200,000 copies, and laid the foundation for a series that would span over 17 titles. However, despite this, I don't see it mentioned much in modern gaming, and many of the titles are not available on Steam at all. And you can actually pick it up on a lot of abandonware websites and GOG. Critics and gamers absolutely loved Close Combat for its innovative gameplay and realistic visuals. I'll admit, me and Luke didn't play the first one that much. It was actually the following title, Close Combat: A Bridge Too Far, released in '97, which was the one that made us fall in love with this series. The reason why is it even used things like psychological models at the time, which received a bit of criticism, but it did add a unique layer of depth to the gaming experience. So if you're a fan of tactical warfare, just looking for a challenging strategy game, definitely give the Close Combat series a try. Next up, LT gamers, we're jumping into a journey of colonization and independence with one of Sid Meier's classic titles, Colonization. This game, much like its predecessor, Civilization, offers a rich and immersive experience that will keep you hooked for hours on end. In Colonization, players manage the cross-Atlantic expansion of an established nation in service of the Crown. But unlike Civilization, where you forge a nation from nothing, here you must navigate the delicate balance between your colony growth and maintaining cordial relations back with your colonial power. Colonization received widespread acclaim upon its release, with critics praising its depth of gameplay and strategic complexity. It garnered a lot of accolades and even made it into the 52nd best computer game ever by PC Gamer back in 1997. And Colonization borrowed heavily from the classic hits of the past, but managed to create a surprisingly addictive title with a flavour all of its own. And I've featured it a bunch here on the channel. There are so many elements to be in love with this game, from the vibe, the graphics, the map, to the music, the units. It's just got the vibe nailed down. It's also got the unique blend of strategy, diplomacy and historical immersion that sets it apart in my eyes as a true gem of 90s gaming. Can only recommend this one. It's always very cheap on Steam. I think it might be on GOG as well, so definitely check it out. It's worth picking up and experiencing this one for yourself. Prepare LT gamers to embark on an interstellar journey with Alpha Centauri, a critically acclaimed strategy game that captivated gamers upon its release. It was developed by the industry legends, Sid Meier obviously, and Brian Reynolds, who also worked on the Colonization and Civilization games. Alpha Centauri received widespread praise from its critics, who hailed its improvements over Civilization 2's game engine and innovative gameplay mechanics. Throw in the stellar storyline and the fact that it was also praised for its in-game writing, voice acting and the depth of the technology tree, and you can see why this is seen as a classic in the gaming world in the 4X genre in particular. However, despite that, it sold fewer copies than other games in the Civilization series, and I feel has slipped out of conversation, most likely because the Civilization series is still going strong today, whereas, Alpha Centauri, Colonization, these have been victims of falling off the map somewhat. But if you're a fan of deep strategy games and you're looking for an immersive sci-fi experience, Alpha Centauri is a must-play. I'll admit that at the time Civilization 2 was the one that stole our attention and we didn't pick up and play this till years after its release. But it is a true gem and you can see this in the critical acclaim it received, and it's a 90s classic. Get ready, suit up and join the battle in one of the greatest online shooters ever made in Starsiege Tribes. And in my opinion, it is the greatest. It was a first-person shooter that left its mark on the gaming world when it was released in 1998. Tribes received critical acclaim upon its release. It was praised for its innovative skiing mechanic, which allowed players to traverse vast terrains at breakneck speeds. It also had a very strong emphasis on team-based gameplay and expansive outdoor environments that really set it apart from shooters of the time. However, one of the things that I think made it so successful, in my humble opinion, is the modding scene. You could experience completely different styles of gameplay, whether you were playing Annihilation mod, the base game, or Shifter mod. And shout out to a small mod I used to play called Bio Wasteland. I absolutely adored it, and it had a fantastic community. But perhaps one of the most enduring legacies of Tribes was its influence on the multiplayer shooter genre in general, games that dominate the world of today. Its fast-paced action and emphasis on teamwork really laid the groundwork for future titles we see out there, Apex, Fortnite and the like, and it really cements its status as a classic in the gaming pantheon. And I feel that this game is forgotten too much. It's not spoken about enough when mentioned with all the greats of Unreal Tournament, Quake and the like. This game is free to play now, so you can pick it up. You can pick it up online in many places, and I would highly encourage you to do so. Although sadly the community is not as strong as it once was, you can still pick up a game or two and see what all the fuss is about. And there you have it, LT gamers. Our journey through the top 12 forgotten 90s gaming gems has come to an end. From the strategic depths of Alpha Centauri to the adrenaline-fueled action of HyperBlade, these games have really left an imprint on the gaming landscape. They're not just relics of the past, they're timeless classics that continue to inspire and entertain gamers to this day. So whether you're going to revisit these gems or just discovering them for the first time, remember, embrace the nostalgia, appreciate the innovation, and above all, enjoy the gaming experience. Don't forget to share your gaming memories in the comments below. I would love to hear your gems of the 90s that I haven't experienced and can pick up, of course. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more gaming content. And until next time, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.